Welcome to this week's installment in our Football Officials video training series. We're studying the National Federation of High School Rules and five-man mechanics. Technical advisors are Greg Downham, Dax Hill, and George Demetrio. Video technical assistance provided by Jim Woods and Sam Porter. I'm your host, Todd Allen, the Executive Director of the Arkansas Association of High School Officials. Visit our website at aahso.com. We're helping good officials get better. This week we'll take a look at a kick play, a chop block, a double action for the first time in this training video, and we'll start on the all but one principle. This presentation is brought to you by the Reading Study Guide to the NFHS football rules. The Reading Study Guide. When you're through learning, you're through. Take a look at this play now with the potential for roughing the kicker. Two players that I want you to look at. First one is this player who lines up wide and takes a path right at the kicker. Second one is this protection blocker who is obviously, you can see better from the end zone shot. He's undersized here for this player. He's going to run into a steamroller basically, and then just gets shoved back into the kicker. But the questions here are going to evolve around contact and who makes contact and whether that contact's legal. You can see here, first the kicking team player goes into the kicker, and then the receiving team player goes into the kicker and hits him below the waist here, and all three players end up on the ground. Just a nasty play and a potential to be injured here because the kicker is certainly in a defenseless position here. His posture and focus of concentration puts him in a position where he's susceptible to injury, and we know that meets the obligation for a defenseless player. Let's take a look at this guy right here too. Now, you know who watch these videos, you know what I'm going to say. This guy, you've got to get off the field. You've got to get these players behind you to back up and give you room to work so that you can work off the field. It's critically important. Now you can see number 2 now here lined up, and you can see the frame of this player. He's just not a real big kid. Playing on special teams, probably got good speed, get down the field, make tackles, but he's going to have to try to block this kid, and you can see this is a much bigger, this is, like I said here, this is a potential D1 player right here. And you can see he just bull rushed. He didn't even slow down. And there's the contact. So I'm looking now in Chapter 6 of the Reading Study Guide, looking on page 64. When it talks about here in depth, it talks about contacting the kicker. If you look over on page 65, there's a summary of the 3 instances where it's legal to make contact with the kicker. First, if it's not reasonably certain that a kick's going to be made. Second, when the player who makes contact with the kicker also touches the ball. And the third is if a defender's blocked into the kicker or a holder by a member of the kicking team. Now clearly this play, we don't meet any of those obligations. And the receiving team player makes contact with the kicker. So this is clearly a foul, correctly called a foul by the referee here. And I was telling you about the angle. This is a really bad angle that he takes. Normally, we don't see this direct angle. We see this sweeping angle so the players can lay out and extend and try to block the ball. But you can see he doesn't even get his hands up. He just rushes in and boom, contact. And that's a foul. This play is properly officiated because this is roughing the kicker. And when you get these plays right, it makes the games go a whole lot smoother. Let's take a look at this play involving the umpire. And we don't get a good look at it here from the press box, but we'll take a look at it from the end zone shot. We get a really good look here, really tight shot here. Now we got the umpire, of course, he's here, and let's just go over the keys for the umpire. Now we know that he's got the center and both guards. So these are his 3 keys here. Now obviously when we're in this position, the umpire's got to be focused in on and ruling on the legality of the snap. So his eyes have got to be right here. But in his peripheral vision, he should be able to see all 3 of these players. And these are his keys throughout this down. So let's watch this play as it unfolds here. And I want you to keep a particular eye on the center and this guard. Head up on this defender right in front of the nose tackle, right in front of the center here. So you see that chop? We got the center who engages him high, then the guard just comes through and chops him right low. So this is a high-low block. Boom, right in the free blocking zone. And this is, you know, who the umpire should be focused on here. So that's just a nasty little foul right there. That's a high-low block or a chop block. And that's a foul anywhere on the field with or without delay. High-low blocks, completely illegal. And that just saves these guys' knees. We got to catch these guys. We got to focus and concentrate on our keys and make sure we're tuned in because this jumps out right at us. This is something that we've got to get, these chop blocks, involving our keys. Obviously, that's the center and the 2 guards for our umpires. I want to introduce you to a new phrase in these training videos. It's called double action. And a double action just means that the ball carrier has the ball and 2 things happen almost simultaneously, but the dead ball spot is not where the ball ends up. So, in other words, one thing happens that makes the ball become dead, and it's dead at that spot, and then immediately something else happens that changes the location of the ball. The classic example of a double action foul is when something on the ground other than the hand or the knee of the ball carrier, and then maybe he leaps or lunges forward. And in this play, what we've got out of this wing T formation is the ball carrier is going to come around this left end, and he's going to go up the field here for a first down, and near the 36-yard line, his knee's going to hit the ground. Then he's going to lunge forward and slide and end up at about the 34-yard line. So let's take a look at a classic double action play here. Here the ball carrier comes around the end here. Now let's go to slow motion. You see the knee go down right there and then him slide forward there at the 34-yard line? Back this up and stop this for you. So you see he's still upright here, and now he starts to come to the ground, and there the first thing hits the ground right there. And so the ball carrier is basically, he's got the ball at about between the 36 and the 35-yard line. You could spot that as a tweener there. And then he falls forward and slides and ends up at the 34-yard line. So you can see this is the first action right here. Boom. And the ball's dead. Actually, a little bit before that it becomes dead. Try to go through this frame by frame. There. The ball's dead right there. So that's the action. And then the double action is him falling forward. As you can see where the knee clearly goes down here. Still up. Now we see the knees down. The body starts to bend here. So about the 35.5-yard line is fair. And then he slides forward. And in this play, it doesn't have an impact on the line to gain because you see the line to gain equipment is here. The line to gain is the 40-yard line. But what if we move that down? And what if the actual line to gain was the 35-yard line? And then we end up not focusing. We don't catch this double action, and we spot the ball at the 34. We'd actually be giving them a first down when the actual spot should be, you know, at this 35.5-yard line. So we should be, if this was a 4th down play, boy, just think how critical that would be. Now we would end up extending the series and giving A a first down when we should actually be giving the ball to Team B. So you see the importance of recognizing and understanding double action, because once you recognize and understand them, catching plays like this becomes a little bit easier, and you begin to separate yourself from other officials. And this is what we call a classic double action play. One more play to talk about, and then we'll segue into the all but one principle that I mentioned last week that we were going to be doing. And this play is just a simple running play, and what we end up with is a wide out here that goes into motion toward the middle of the field. And then we end up with this back who takes off early. And it's very, very tight, but he's going to get a full step in before the ball is snapped, and this is the referee's key. Referee, you've got to be in a position wide enough where you can see the snap, and you can also rule on action on the backs, including the quarterback. And what we've got here is this player just simulating the start of the play. He just takes off early. It's very simple. This is just a false start. And we just want to shut this play down and not even let it run because we have a false start here. And you can see this action. Run it back for you one more time. Just watch the ball. So I'll freeze the ball here. And you see the ball hasn't moved, but yet the running back's already got a full step in. So this is just a false start. And we'll talk about now moving right into the all but one principle. And really what I want you to do is take a look at the Reading Study Guide in Chapter 11. On page 146, it talks briefly about the all but one principle, and that's where we're going to work on. That's what we'll work off today when we talk about this, because this is just a foul that occurs simultaneous with the snap. And fouls that occur simultaneous with the snap are one category in the all but one principle, and it's very, very simple because they're just all enforced from the previous spot. Because if they happen prior to the snap, they're just dead ball fouls. And so you just go to the previous spot. Now, another category that we can put right in here with these fouls that occur before the snap are fouls that occur simultaneous with the snap. Illegal formation fouls, illegal shift fouls, all of those happen when the ball is snapped. They're not a foul until the ball is snapped. And so we can just put them in that same category. These are all going to be enforced from the previous spot. So just remember, dead ball fouls that occur like false starts right before the ball is snapped are fouls that occur by rule that are simultaneous with the snap. All of these fouls are enforced in the previous spot. So they're real simple. Now let's just take a look at a simple running play. And what we've got here is we're going to call an offensive hold here. And we just got a running play. You see, this is the dead ball spot. Now, the basic premise of the principle, the all but one principle, is all fouls that occur are enforced from the basic spot, except for fouls that occur by the team in possession of the ball behind the basic spot. And you see where this flag is, that this foul does occur behind the basic spot, because the basic spot is here where the ball carrier goes down. So this is the end of the run. So this is just simply a running play. Now, the important thing here to know is you have to be able to know where the basic spot is on a running play. It's real simple. It's the end of the run. And next week, we're going to go into one more phase of the basic spot on running plays. We'll go into all the things that can happen when a run ends. So, but for this just simple running play, basic spot, the end of the run, now we've got a foul that occurs by the team in possession of the ball behind the basic spot. This foul is the exception to the all but one principle. This is the all but one, because all fouls but one are enforced from the basic spot. And the basic spot here is the end of the run. This is a foul by the team in possession of the ball that occurs behind the basic spot. That foul is enforced from the spot of the foul. 10-yard penalty for offensive holding, and now we're through the first three phases of the all but one principle. Next week, we're going to talk about things that can occur when one run ends and another one begins, things that can occur during a loose ball interval after a run, and we'll go in through, completely break down running plays, and you should, at the end of next week, have a complete understanding of the all but one principle when it has to do with running plays. That's it for this week. Really dive into that rule book and the all but one principle. Also think about, during your games this week, putting plays into categories: running play, loose ball play. Focus on that, and we're going to talk more about that next week. If you have a question or comment, anything you'd like to share with me about the videos, feel free to do so. Here's my email address. It's toddallen65@mac.com. Until next week, have a great week.